Hi everyone, my name is Varmar and in this video I'm going to show you how you can blend materials using Vertex Colors. So I'm working on currently a procedural world generator which is similarly to Minecraft, creates the world procedurally around the player using chunks and vertices. Now when I create the world around the character, if I go to my world generator, you can see that I'm not doing with landscape but actual procedural mesh component, which I call terrain mesh. So this procedural mesh component, the tricky part about it is that it cannot take traditional blending methods such as landscape layer blending, which you can see right here, the landscape layer blend mode, or it also cannot take any landscape grass node or anything that's related to landscape, because this procedural mesh component is not actually a landscape. So if I open my world here, you can see that there is no landscape right here because it's procedurally generated on the fly using procedural mesh component. If you use the traditional methods, such as going to the landscape, creating a landscape for yourself, and then going to the paint, and then assigning weight-based layers with layer info, that would mean that you can use the normal layer blending method. But because I'm using the procedural mesh component, I'm unable to. So I had to look for an alternative method, and there is a few methods, but you probably didn't know that you can actually use Vertex Colors for this. And how you can do that is a simple node which is called material layer blend standard. So material layer blend standard, this is a simple node that has a base material, a top material, and an alpha. The logic is this: if the alpha, which can be between 0 and 255, because Vertex is an RGBA, right? Red, green, blue, and alpha, RGBA. You're not gonna use this one because this is the combined of all of those, and you don't need that. But actually RGBA. So if the alpha, and you always connect into the alpha from the vertex, right? So if the alpha is 255, that means the top material going to be selected. If the alpha is 0, that means the base material is going to be created or selected. And the blended material means that it blends them together in your selected method. If it's 120 something, so half of it, it means it's going to be 50% base and 50% top. Now this sounds really easy and not really too much, but this is really powerful and it opens a bunch of possibilities. So actually you can chain these together like this, like in above here. You can chain them together and you can actually create the whole kind of layer blending that you would actually use with this node. Alright, so let me bring up my little cheat book here. So how you can blend them together is actually really simple. So all you need is 3 of these nodes and the vertex color and the 4 layer you want to assign. Now, good to mention that you cannot do it with more than 4 layers. Why? Because RGBA, red, green, blue, and alpha, it only supports 4 different ones. So you are unable to do, if you have more than 4 biomes or more than 4 layers, you are unable to do this kind of method, so you need to look for an alternative. But in my case, I just want to assign 4 different ones, up to 4, so it's actually perfect for me. Or you can even have less, like 2 or 3, whatever. If you do have 2, it's even more easy. So let's say we have the limit to 4 and we set it accordingly. So the first one, the first blend node, is actually going to have the grass and the forest layers to be separated. Now for the alpha, you connect the green one to the alpha. And what does that mean? It means that if the green is max 255, that means the top material is selected. If the green is 0, minimum, the base material is selected. Now, if the green is half, around 128, that means that the top material and base material will be blended with a 50-50% blend. If you want to blend them, you can even do it like this and you can completely blend them. But again, in my case, I'm using it for biomes, so I'm going to choose either 255 or 0, whatever I want from the 2 of these. But again, you can blend it together if you want to. So what is the output? The output of this, let's say that we selected a grass layer, okay? So let's say that we selected it 0. So the output, in this case, is 100% grass layer. Now the next one is the next node. You select between the base, which is the output of the first one, which was 100% grass at this point, or you select a new layer, which in this case called dry grass, is the new biome. In here, you connect the next color available for alpha, which is in this case blue. So the blue will determine if the top material, in this case the new biome, or the base material, which in this case the output of the previous node, which means 100% grass that we just selected. So you say it now, do you keep the 100% grass you selected, or do you want to actually maybe replace it with the new biome? Let's say I want to keep this. So I select 0 for the blue one, which means that I keep the base material. What's the output of this? The output of this is a blend of the grass, forest, and dry grass with 100% grass, 0% forest, 0% dry grass. Why? Because in the first one, I have 100%, 0% blend, and I blend the output of this with a 0% dry grass. So the output of this is 100% grass. Do you follow me still? And in the last one, you also ask the exact same question. Do you want to keep whatever you had in the first sections, which in this case is 100% grass, or maybe do you are ready now to replace it with a brand new biome? If you say, and you connect the last available here, if you connect this and you say, let's say I set this one to 0 again, it means whatever I brought from here, I continue to have it. So in this case, what is 100% grass? Simple as this. I chose grass here with a green being 0, or I could have chose a forest one with a green being 255, and from there, here and here, I selected both the alpha to be 0, meaning I carried over whatever I chose here to be the actual blend. And then I just connect it to the get material attributes, and it goes to the end landscape sampler. So basically, if you want, let's say a different scenario, let's say I want to pick my dry grass layer to be active. What do? Doesn't matter what you choose here, because you're going to be overwrite it. You can either choose 0, 255, or even 128. Doesn't really matter. Let's say, just for the sake of tutorial, choose 0. Okay, so you choose grass at this point, 100% grass. Doesn't really matter. What does it ask here? It asks you, do you want to keep whatever you chose here, or do you want to overwrite it? You could say that you want a blend of the grass layer and this dry grass layer 50-50. You would right here choose, let's say, the first one 0, you get 100%, you carry it over, and now you could blend it 50-50 together. Or in our case, here you choose 255 of the blue one, blue 255. What does that mean? That means you're carrying the top material over with 100% blend, your new dry grass layer. So the output now is this one, 100%. You overwritten whatever you chose at the first one. So the output at this case is 100% of the second biome, the second layer. In here, it's going to ask you, do you want to keep this, whatever you chose here, or do you want to overwrite to the new biome? You say 0, I want to base material, I want to keep it. So you don't overwrite. In that case, the output here is 100% dry grass. Now what happens if you want 100% mountain? Choose whatever you want here, doesn't really matter. Choose whatever you want here, also doesn't really matter, because at the end, you're just simply going to say, I need 100% of this one, which means you set the last alpha to be 255. And that means you're choosing this one, 100%. And that's it. The output goes here, and it's done. Simple as that. So how it looks in C++. Basically, what I do is just, it's a shortcut of code, but basically I set the RGBA to 0, 0, 0, 0, and then wherever I switch my biome, I just simply set it. Red is just for documentation purposes, right? This could be nothing, and then you just leave the green to 0, and that's exactly the same thing, right? So we're not assigning red though. So basically red 255 and everything else 0. It basically means like this, like you would do this, right? Red 255 and then 0, 0, 0. Now what 0, 0, 0 means? It means right here that the first one is 0. What 0 means in the first one? You take the base material. What is the base material? Grass. And then you carry it towards. 0 on the next one, you're keeping it, 0 at the next one, you're keeping it, so you chosen your grass layer. So if we go back to code, R255 and everything 0, what does it mean? 100% grass. And if the green is 255, but everything is 0, what does it mean? So let's say 255, you chosen the forest, this was 0, this was 0, so you brought your forest onward. Simple as that. You actually can assign for, don't look at this because I'm still figuring out what I'm gonna do with that, but you can still assign 4 different layers, material layers, just using vector colors, and in my case these are actual biomes, which then I just assign as vertex colors, and then I'm using them when I'm creating my actual meshes. I'm just using it like this, create mesh section, I'm using the vertex colors from here, right? I do this when I do my draw tile method. It's nothing fancy, but it actually works. So, and also, technically you could go around the landscape grass by creating a special component, which basically just takes the RVT output and then assigns it, because this landscape grass is basically looks for landscape, actual landscape component to be in your level, and then it assigns grass to it. But you could create a copy of it which doesn't look for landscape but looks for procedural mesh, and I'm actually going to do that and upload it to the Unreal Engine marketplace because I haven't seen a plugin like this and people might like it. So that's it about. So you can use 3 of these layer blend nodes with your given selected layers, and you can blend them in your selected, and it's not just choosing, like, you don't have to do 100% this or 100% that. You can literally take a 25 to 75% blend of this one and then mix it with this and then add a little bit of that. It's completely up to you. You're going to control this with an RGBA. That's it, nothing else. It's super simple and it's actually powerful. Now, what you need to consider is that the second node and the third node, like, it's a painting on layers. Whatever you choose here, this can be overwritten here. Whatever you choose here, this can be overwritten here. That's why this has 2 layers inputted here and this has only 1 layer inputted, and the base is actually the previous one. Same goes here. The previous is actually all of these combined, right? Because you put on top of each other, so you actually always overwrite. Even if you chose this or this at the first one, you still have a chance to overwrite at the second ones. In reality, it looks something like this. I create my biomes, and my chunks around my character, right? And then assign the biomes with these different color patches. So if I fly down here, for example, and I press the biome picker, I'm at forest right now. If I go into this land right here, I'm right now in highlands, right? And if I go down here, let's see, I'm currently at grasslands. And if I go up to the mountain, which is in my case based on height, of course, that's going to be mountain. So as simple as that, you can actually assign biomes to your procedural generation with with simple vertex colors, which I think is hilarious, but it's really powerful. So I recommend it to have a look. If you need up to 4 layers to blend, just use vertex color, super simple. I hope this was an informative video. I hope helped someone, and I'll see you at the next one.